Did a quick fix make your swing worse? Wayne Defrancesco will get your swing back on track at WDGLC.com.
Hey there everybody, it's Wayne D here, and we got Tiger Woods up in front of us. Great tournament this week at the Memorial. We saw Tiger come back and win the tournament, and it was extra nice to see Brandel Chamblee have to squirm as he discussed Tiger's win, not able to show some character and admit how wrong he's been. Sorta. He kind of did. Said he was still scratching his head. He can't figure it out. That's probably because he couldn't do it, but Tiger manages to do it. He's done it a bunch of times, and seems to be coming along nicely. So let's take a listen to this. Funny story, Peter Kostis has listened to my videos. How do I know this? I got a report from the pro at my club that he was a little bit irritated at me for some of the criticism that I have delivered around his analysis. But if you listen to this, I think you might hear some echoes of some of the stuff that we've done here on the website. So this is actually a very good analysis by Peter. And nothing that I do here is personal. I mean, it's all about the information. I'm really, when I criticize a video or analysis, it's not the person that's doing it, it's the information behind it. When someone talks about a swing that's happening in front of them and says something that's not happening, I'm going to point it out. And when it says something about lowering being bad in a swing, I'm going to point that out because that's what I teach. So let's listen to Peter here.
Ultra BizHub Swing Vision camera. Couple of things I really like. First, as he goes back, you're going to see the left shoulder turning down and under his chin. He gets the left shoulder working down, gets the club back in a wonderful position at the top of the backswing. But now he compresses it even more by driving the left shoulder down as he starts the downswing. Now the key, from that point, he is going to drive off of his right foot over to his left foot, and that's going to piston-like move the left shoulder up as he goes through the hitting area. That driving off the right leg, driving the left shoulder up, creates a tremendous amount of rotary power. Then he straightens the left leg to continue that upper body rotation. So the piston-like driving off the right leg and then the left leg to power the shoulders really makes Tiger's golf swing extremely powerful.
And Peter, it looks like to me with this new modern player that they're really pushing off the ground and trying to drive up. You see Tiger, you see Bubba, these guys come off the ground now basically with both feet as they're hitting.
Well, I don't even think it's just the modern player. We got a guy in the 18th tower who had heels off the ground and maybe was one of the first players ever in modern game to really use his legs effectively, and that's Mr. Nicklaus. Yeah.
Learn the pivot compression golf swing. Join WDGLC.com today.
Well, there you go. Somebody's getting the idea. I actually think that's very cool. I just like to hear these guys tune in to what's actually happening. And there you had Gary McCord and Peter Kostis talking about compressing into the ground, driving off the right foot, elevating through impact. So that's pretty neat. So let's take a look at Tiger's swing. You know, it really looked good. You know, it's been looking good. He has gotten used to some of the different things that he's trying to do, and it's really not all that different. You know, it's not going to totally change style-wise. So one of the things that I think they've done is to increase his spine angle at address. The hands, you know, when you draw his shaft line, it's still up. See, that's up at 61. he's hitting probably a gap wedge on this shot, but the angle here is fairly bent over, although the knee flex is not that great. So a little difference there. Now, it's interesting, from a bent over position, most players don't lower very much, but Tiger lowers his normal amount from a bent over position. Now, if you think you can swing like this, I'm going to draw this line here, and this line is going to show you that you cannot swing like this. It's like nobody can swing like that. So this is not that precise, but it's somewhere in that range. I mean, if you put yourself on this V1 with your swing and try to bend yourself over so that the line from the tip of your left shoulder and the, when the left arm's parallel in the forward swing, connect that to your waist and get it to about 25 degrees and see what you think. My guess is that you will laugh and say, I can't hit it from here. Like, no, who could hit it from there? It's like your face, it's like you're eating dirt at that point. So nobody bends over this much, except really for a lot of the greatest players. And it's sheer athleticism. I mean, this is something that's very difficult to do. But what it does for Tiger is that his upper body is so sharply angled here that anything that he swings up there looks fairly vertical as far as the arms against the body, so nothing looks like it's going to get behind him. Now, here's another thing that I think has changed here recently, in that the shaft halfway up isn't nearly as steep as it was before. It's pretty much right out at the ball. I like that. I mean, it's more consistent. If you stand the club way up, you got to shallow it more. So his lines are starting to come close together. He doesn't have to do quite as much shifting around of the shaft. And when he retains that, or increases that steep bend in his body, the club is coming down on top of his forearm, and he doesn't really have to worry about getting stuck. And if he tries to hit it a little bit left to right, it's even more likely that the club will be in between his arms and not get stuck. So he's beginning to favor a left to right shot. And why not? If you can hit it 300 yards with a 3-wood sometimes even, why not hit a slight fade? Especially if it's going to keep the shaft in front of you. Now, one thing that he cannot do like he used to do, he cannot really finish up in the box, and that's really saving his left knee. So he is definitely in the box. There's a couple of the cameraman on the telecast was filming from all sorts of weird angles, so I don't really have a lot of good shots of him. This one, I mean, the guy liked to lie down on the ground and shoot from goofy angles. It's like he was trying to be artistic or something, but he was really just being annoying. So the cameraman, the guy who was holding the camera for Tiger's group, is watching this video. Could you just stand up and get behind the guys and get some good shots in there? Anyway. So you can see at the end of the swing, now he's back in the box like he used to be, but see, he used to snap that leg and his left toes would come up and he would really pull that leg back deep, but he's not doing that anymore. In fact, at the end he'll punk out and go a little bit outside the box, but I don't think that's such a big deal. It's really just saving the knee joint there over on the left, which he doesn't really have much left of anymore. So I don't think that's such a big deal. The big deal is that as he's hitting the ball, none of his right thigh is out of the box. So look how much space he's got for that right arm now. Now, as far as hand path, I've been talking about that. I think he's pretty much settled on a midpoint here where he's not going to get it to go all the way out to the ball, but you can see it's pretty close, probably more toward the ball than toward his feet, like somewhere in there. And I think that that's going to be more toward the ball when he tries to hit it a little bit left to right. I think on this one he was hitting a little cut here. So you can see the club's nicely in front of him. And it exits great. So nothing out to the right, down the line. You know, everything is just nicely around. You can see the left forearm a little bit less than vertical there. I have talked about that before. That's a full release to the left side. Very nice. So it looks like he's feeling good enough to really get the left side cleared out of the way. Still lowering about the same amount as he always did. You know, sort of half back and half again heading toward the ball and then elevating as he's hitting it. So that's pretty cool. Now, you know, we look at all these pictures from the back view and you sort of get mesmerized by the path of the hands and the lowering. Watch the forward movement of the hips. So you got to remember that when he is compressing and you're watching that from down the line, you don't really get a good feel for how much lateral drive that he has. Look at that amount. So for anybody that thinks that you're not supposed to slide in the forward swing, I hope there's no one that watches my website that thinks that. If you watch Hogan, you watch Tiger, what you see is massive amounts of lateral movement without the head moving forward of its original position. And again, that's how you get the arms and hands up in front of the ball. So if we go back to that sequence here, watch the impact position that he gets into. I mean, when I talk about impact and sustain, this is the deal right there. Pass the ball, perfect line here. You know, it's a product of everything else. You can't just sort of make yourself do that, but certainly that's the idea. And the other part of this is the right elbow. You can see it tip more under the left there, and then work in front of the rib cage. And again, these are Hogan-esque positions here. Sort of the opposite of what a Jim Hardy swing would be. We see the right elbow, upper right arm, not really the elbow. I should really stop saying elbow. What I really want to say is that the upper right arm, the tricep area, is coming into the rib cage and it's drilling itself in there, but it's not an elbow jam, because if you jam your elbow, it tilts the spine back and it leaves the right forearm angled back. Right? So when you come down, if you want to get your arms in front of you like this, make sure your left arm is down and stretched against you, almost vertical to the ground, and your upper right arm is against your chest and rib cage. Now he's hitting a 5-wood here. Look how forward that is. That's pretty neat. So another thing to watch here is the footwork. It's much quieter than it used to be. His left heel moves a little bit now. There's a little jump in there, but boy, if you go back to 2000 or any of those old swings, boy, you see a ton of jump in that left foot, and now you don't. And that's just, it's probably better technique, and it's also helping to save his knee. So you really hit the ball sort of better than anybody else control wise. So here's, we can see the hands here not quite as in, So I think he's kind of tempered a couple of things he was working on. Club head is outside the hands, but not radically so. Shaft definitely less steep than it was at halfway back. Right arm, as normal, still a little bit pinched in, but strong enough to maintain that and then bring it in. The hands dropping about halfway between the ball and the feet. And if we watch the shaft progression here, you can see it flatten initially. Here's the point here. It's going to come down. It's going to steepen progressively. You can watch it. And again, we're looking at Hogan-esque type swings here, ball control. I look for Tiger to continue to play nicely, and if he's putting good and has a good week, I think he's certainly a threat to win every tournament. So there we go, Tiger back in the game.